Well, the coronavirus pandemic, which we know it's not, if you look up the definition of the word pandemic, has pushed troubled department store chain J.C. Penney into Chapter 11 bankruptcy. It is the fourth major retailer to meet that fate, and about the 20,000th or 100,000th small business, probably. As part of its reorganization, the 118-year-old company said late Friday it will be closing some of its stores and it will disclose details and timing in the coming weeks. Reorganization, plenty of other retailers are expected to follow. Let's see, it said that it received this article's cut off. Hold on, this is interesting. It operates 850 stores and it has nearly 90,000 workers. It said that it received $900 million in financing to help it operate during the restructuring. Okay, short term. Now, I assume that's not from the government, is it? It's from the banks, I hope. Penney joins luxury department store chain Neiman Marcus, J. Crew, and Stage Stores in filing for bankruptcy reorganization. Plenty of other retailers are expected to follow. Many experts are pessimistic about Penney's survival, even as it sheds its debt and shrinks the number of stores. Its fashion and home offerings haven't stood out for years, and moreover, its middle to low income customers have been the hardest hit by massive layoffs during the pandemic. I lose respect for every news organization that sits there and puts pandemic, because if you look up the definition of that word, we are not in a pandemic. In fact, over the last 2 months, I asked 15 to 20 people a day, sometimes 10, sometimes 20, do you know is there anyone in your family that's been killed by the pandemic? No. Do you know anyone that's killed by it? No. I haven't got a single person to say it. Yet it's a pandemic, so it should affect the majority of the families in our nation. Many of them will likely shop more at discounters, if they shop at all. That's more like it. This is a long, sad story, said Ken Perkins, president of Retail Metrics. Penney offers no reason to shop there compared to its competitors, whether it's Macy's or TJ Maxx or Walmart. How are they going to survive? Like many department stores, Penney is struggling to remain relevant in an era when Americans are buying more online or from discounters. I think the time element is a big thing too. The time it takes to go to the mall. I love to go to the mall, but most of us don't have time to do it anymore. Sears has now been reduced to a couple hundred stores after being bought. Is there still any stores? Did you think there was any Sears left? Sears has now been reduced to a couple hundred stores after being bought by hedge fund billionaire and its former chairman, Eddie Lampert, in bankruptcy in 2019. Barney's New York closed its doors earlier this year, and Bon-Ton stores went out of business in 2018. How many times can you guys say the word pandemic? It's not a pandemic. This is proof that Como is liars. They are liars. By the way, check out my other video, Como versus King, and find out why Como does not care a thing about your views. The pandemic has just put department stores further in peril as they see their sales evaporate and extended closures. Even as retailers like Penney start to reopen in states like Texas and Florida that have relaxed their lockdowns, they're also facing Herculean challenges in making shoppers feel comfortable to be in public spaces. Like Sears, JCPenney's troubles were years in the making, marking a slow decline from its glory days during the 60s through the 80s, when it became a key shopping destination at malls for families. The company's roots began in 1902 when James Cash Penney started a dry goods store in Kemmerer, Wyoming. Wow, Wyoming. The retailer had focused its stores in downtown areas, but expanded into suburban shopping malls as they became more popular starting in the 60s. With that expansion, Penney added appliances, hair salons, and portrait studios. Yeah, the old Penney's photos, I remember that. But since the late 90s, Penney struggled with weak sales and heavier competition from discounters and specialty chains that were squeezing its business from both ends. Penney's began flirting with bankruptcy nearly a decade ago when a disastrous reinvention plan spearheaded by then CEO Ron Johnson, caused sales to go into free fall. Johnson drastically cut promotions. Good job, Johnson. And he brought in hit brands that turned off loyal shoppers. Yeah, we don't want hit brands at JCPenney's. That's a disaster. We want loyal shoppers, not hit brands. As a result, sales dropped from 17.3 billion during the fiscal year that ended in 2012 to 13 billion a year later. Well, that was a pretty weak year too overall, 12 and 13. It was like the retail was still recovering from '08. Many longtime customers walked away and have not returned. Johnson was fired in April 23rd after just 17 months on the job. I wonder where he went to work after that. Since then, Penney's has undergone a series of management changes, each employing different strategies that failed to revive sales. The company, which is apparently now based in Plano, has suffered 5 straight years of declining sales, which now hover around 11.2 billion. Its shares are trading at less than 20 cents. Oh my word. Down from $1.26 a year ago. Hey, all you people that have faith in the stock market, there you go. And from its all-time peak of $81. So it has gone from $81 to $1.26 and now 20 cents. It's become a penny stock. You penny stock traders might want to trade this on the daily news and make some money. Penney's CEO Jill Saltow has acted swiftly since joining the company in October 2018. She jettisoned from stores major appliances that were weighing down the operating profits. That reversed the strategy of her predecessor, Marvin Ellison, who brought appliances to the showroom floor after a 30-year absence in an attempt to capitalize on the troubles of ailing Sears. Saltow turned the company's focus back to women's clothing and goods for the home like towels and bed sheets, which carry higher profit margins. Furniture is still available, but only online. Still, sales and profits have remained weak for the fiscal fourth quarter ended February 1st. Sales at stores opened at least a year dropped 4.7 adjusted for the exit of appliances. Profits were down 64%. Yeah, look it down here. Inslee says it's highly likely state stay-at-home order will be extended through the rest of time. Yeah, this guy's a real joker. Anyway, thank you.